Volkswagen's genius CEO, who has had pretty much all his powers removed from him so he can keep his job, which is ridiculous. Come on, Tesla, hire the guy, has just said, we need more cooperation and presence in China, not less. The direct inverse to what the United States government is doing right now. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans, and it's great to have you here on the channel. So fantastic to have so many new subscribers. Good for you guys, because you're going to learn more about what's really going on in the automotive industry, in the battery world, and in the world of electric cars. Because you know what? I don't just talk about one area, I talk about everything in terms of electric cars. So if you subscribe to the channel, you're going to get access to all of that content. Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess, like I said, he's been in hot water with the union and power brokers within Volkswagen, and they basically just stripped his powers. He's the figurehead CEO right now. Technically, I'll put a link in the description below to that video I made about what's happened. But Herbert Diess has put Volkswagen in a very good position in terms of he's been battling their hierarchy, their bureaucracy, and he's done an excellent job of pushing Volkswagen away from this Dieselgate scandal nonsense, which he basically played no part in, and in making them a car company which does have significant potential. Now, Herbert Diess has made some interesting comments which are quite different to some of the things that have been said by American politicians about China lately. Not about China in general, but about China's electric vehicle industry. Now, in an article published today, Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess called for more cooperation between Europe and China in terms of electric vehicles, right? In the article posted on LinkedIn, Diess wrote in the first paragraph, we need more cooperation and presence in China, not less. Now, I should point out that recently Volkswagen has made a significant purchase. They now own a controlling share of Gotion High-Tech, which is a battery company that makes some extremely impressive batteries. They have new battery lines coming out. And Volkswagen are making some very smart, sort of, you could say, acquisitions, investments in China. Why? Because it makes freaking sense. Because how do you compete on a global scale unless you have investments in China? You can't. It's going to be very hard for companies who haven't invested in China, who haven't invested in getting supply contracts with Ganfeng Lithium or with CATL or with other battery suppliers to compete. Now, it would be quite harmful if Germany or the EU wanted to decouple from China, which is the rhetoric coming from Australia and the US lately, because as a global company, Volkswagen will never stop advocating globalization, a multilateral rules-based trading system and engagement. Remember, Volkswagen sells a lot of cars in China, even more than they sell in America. Quite a lot more, actually. Now, Diess listed some interesting facts that you should be aware of. This year, the Chinese car market as a whole grew only slightly by 4.4%. We lost market share due to the semiconductor crisis. I don't think that's true. They lost market share because they didn't make enough electric cars. But thanks to our sales optimization, we still achieved a good result. Now, legacy automakers they're losing market share in China because they're not making enough electric cars. That's a fact. But Volkswagen is the only legacy automaker whose sales have increased in terms of its electric car sales pretty significantly, in fact. So at least they're doing better than all the other Muppets in China, all the other legacy car companies in China. I made a video about BMW's ridiculous attempt at an electric car, basically a BMW 3 Series ICE vehicle they've just sort of hijacked and turned into an electric car. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. Now the car weighs 2.1 tons and it's a BMW 3 Series. Ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. The Chinese government will of course continue to promote employment and consumption of vehicles, electric vehicles in the country. Not just vehicles, but in terms of supporting the entire industry. And they do that through expansionary fiscal policies. Now, the Chinese electric vehicle market has nearly tripled in 2021, and it's projected to double in 2022, meaning they'll sell probably 6 million electric cars in China next year. Volkswagen has already launched the ID.3, the ID.4, and the ID.6 in China this year, and has significantly increased its sales targets next year for those vehicles. Now, in addition, obviously Audi is owned by Volkswagen and they manufacture the Q4 e-tron. We are strongly positioned, but we have to use the Chinese speed and local technology platforms to remain worldwide relevant in new auto, he said. Now, this is the kind of stuff where it's just not politically correct to say this kind of stuff, but Herbert Diess doesn't care about politics. He cares about facts, he cares about efficiency, he cares about keeping his company afloat. He said, on the political side, we need cooperation, dialogue, international collaboration, and an expansion of our economic relations. At a time when the Chinese electric vehicle market is growing rapidly, Volkswagen is already making an aggressive transition into increasing its investment and its future in China. It has to. It has no choice. Now, Volkswagen's ID family of electric vehicles sold 14,000 units in China in November, which is an increase of 11% from 12,700 in the month before. Now, that was the third consecutive month that the ID family electric cars delivered more than 10,000 units in China. That's a new high for Volkswagen since it began publishing the data in June. And it is a tough market. The truth is, while a lot of cars, electric cars, are sold in China, a hell of a lot, it's tough because those Chinese car makers there in China, they are operating on pretty low profit margins, and their innovation and speed of innovation at those companies is staggering. Now, in addition, Volkswagen's China's strategic investment in Chinese power battery giant Gotion High-Tech was completed last week, and the deal was announced last May. Volkswagen China increased its stake in Gotion to 441 million shares, increasing its ownership to 26.5%, making it the single largest shareholder. Now, the stake held by Gotion's chairman Li Zhen and his concerted action partners dropped to 18%, making him the second largest shareholder of Gotion High-Tech, but Li remains the de facto controller. Why are they doing that? Well, according to Volkswagen China's previous commitment, it will relinquish some of its voting rights for at least the next 3 years to ensure Gotion's sound development, leaving Li as the top voting shareholder of the company. You've got to respect this, right? They're basically saying, yeah, we're the top shareholder. We can, if we want to, tell you what to do, but we're not going to do that because we think you're going to make the best decisions if we don't get involved. And if that isn't a show of confidence in the Chinese automotive electric industry, Chinese battery industry, then I don't know what is. I've got to say, another smart move from Herbert Diess. The man is doing great things for Volkswagen. Volkswagen, leave him alone. Don't fire him if you want to succeed. Or, hey, fire him if you want Tesla to take him or someone else to take him, because he'll be snapped up in a second. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this move. Do you agree with Herbert Diess? What do you think of the guy? Thanks for watching. See you all again on the next one. Bye-bye.